Iran's target, an Israeli ship, or the nuclear deal? The relative lull in the volatile relationship between Iran and Israel leaves a deceptive sense that both sides are comfortable with the current state of affairs. The latest installment was the explosion on the MV Helios Ray, a cargo ship owned by an Israeli company, which Israel has categorically attributed to Tehran, and probably the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. Iran was quick to deny, but for a change there was a consensus in the Israeli government between Benjamin Netanyahu and his alternate prime minister, Benny Gantz, who is also the defense minister, that responsibility lay with Iran. Gantz based his claim on the location and context is the key factor here, as this incident adds to the wider geography and circumstances of a hostile relationship that stretches from the Strait of Hormuz to Syria, Iraq, Lebanon, Palestine and clandestine operations elsewhere. However, much of the diplomatic and military commotion currently taking place has to do with the change of administration in Washington, and the posturing over a possible revival of the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, JCPOA, the 2015 deal to curb Iran's nuclear program in return for the lifting of sanctions, which effectively collapsed when Donald Trump pulled out in 2018. Neither the US nor Iran would like to be seen as either coerced into negotiations or coming to the table from a position of weakness. And Israel, though not directly involved, is making sure its voice and concerns are heard. A blunt contextualization of the attack on the Helios Ray came from Lieutenant General Aviv Kochavi, the Israeli military chief of staff, asserting that this was a reminder that Iran is spreading terrorism and is acting against civilian targets. Kochavi added that Iran's threat was not limited to its efforts to develop nuclear capability, but equally in unsettling the region by acts of terrorism, including those against civilian targets. Kochavi has already departed from the convention for those still in uniform of refraining from expressing political views in public, arguing recently in a major speech outlining Israel's strategy in the region that it would be a mistake for the US to return to the nuclear deal, and that neither Israel nor the US should rule out military operations against Iran, speculating that without America's withdrawal from the 2015 agreement Iran would have developed a nuclear bomb by now.